Tell me something. Have you ever stepped off a trail, just a little, because you thought you knew better? Thought, it's just trees. What could possibly go wrong? That's what Eric thought too. A seasoned hiker. Confident. Comfortable with silence. Until the silence turned on him. Until the forest moved. Eric was 3 days into his solo backpacking trip through the Oregon backcountry. He followed a faint path that didn't appear on his map, but it was daylight. He had gear, food. He wasn't scared. Not yet. But within an hour, the trees got closer. The air felt heavier. No birds, no bugs, not even wind, and then the first sign something was wrong. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate. Circling his tent long after sunset. Would you look outside, or would you pretend you didn't hear them? Eric unzipped his tent flap. Nothing. No animals, no prints. But one thing was missing: the trail. The path he came in on was just gone. Trees stood where there'd been open space. He marked a nearby trunk with his knife, made a clear X. The next morning, the mark was gone. The wrong tree was marked now, too high, too wide. He started walking all day, compass spinning, no sun. The woods didn't want him to leave. That night he stumbled upon something tied to a branch, a small wooden figurine, delicately carved. With his initials on it, he froze. He never carved it, never carried it. But it was his. Eric panicked, ran blind. Eventually he collapsed on asphalt, an old, unused fire road. When he finally made it home, he swore off the woods forever. But 2 years later, another solo hiker 30 miles away found something near his tent, a wooden figurine, same carving, same initials. But that hiker's name wasn't Eric. So, who's leaving them behind? And more importantly, who's watching them if you were lost in the woods, cold, hungry, and you saw a cabin with a warm glow inside? Would you go in without asking questions? Would you still enter if it felt like someone wanted you to find it? 19-year-old Lila had wandered off trail in the Appalachians. Her group was miles away, phone dead, the sun long gone. Her jacket was soaked, her flashlight dying. That's when she saw it, a dim golden light flickering through the trees. She followed it, step after step, heartbeat growing louder. A log cabin stood between tall pines, smoke from the chimney, candles in the windows, warmth she hadn't felt in hours. She knocked. No answer. But the door creaked open, just enough to invite her in. Inside, it was quiet. Too quiet. A fire crackled. Soup boiled on the stove. Muddy boots rested near the door, fresh. A coat hung. Nearby, no one spoke. No footsteps. But she was too tired to care. She curled up on a rug near the fire and finally slept. But when she opened her eyes, there was no cabin, no fire, no walls, just leaves, cold ground, and tall trees above. The place she thought she slept in had never existed. Rescuers found her hours later, alone in a forest clearing. One of them said it looked like she hadn't moved for days. Back home, as she unpacked her backpack, something heavy shifted inside. A pair of large, muddy boots. Not hers. And beneath them, a folded note soaked with dew. It read, "Glad you made it back, some don't. Can a forest remember your voice? Can it steal it?" Tom was a forest ranger for nearly a decade. But there was one section of Blackwood Forest he never entered after, dark, until the night he had to. Reports of screams, campers missing. His radio static was full of echoes that didn't belong to anyone. Then, crying. Soft. Familiar. He called out, flashlight in hand, pushing deeper into the woods. No answer. But the crying grew louder, became laughter. His laughter. Then his radio sparked to life, a whisper, his own voice. "You shouldn't have come alone." He spun around. The forest felt closer, Trees bending inward, faces began to form in the bark, eyes blinked where knots had been. Dozens. Watching, smiling, he ran. But the forest followed. Tom quit the next morning, never worked another ranger shift again. He moved 3 states away, avoided trees, parks, even city gardens. When asked why, he only says one thing. They remembered. Me. And every so often at night he hears his radio come alive again, whispering his name in his own voice. The woods are not empty. They remember who enters, and they decide who leaves. So tell me, if you're ever alone in the woods and something calls your name, would you answer or would you pray it never calls again?